Hello everyone, today we're going to be doing 32 thoughts for 32 teams, and we are just going to dive on in. So basically I'm just going to say one thought per team, maybe more if it's just rapid fire, and we're going to go right on into this. So starting off in the Pacific, and that is going to be the Seattle Kraken. Tough year this year, but they've got a lot of money going forward. I think next year should be better. Number 7 in the division, the Vancouver Canucks. My thought is this: they still have a chance to make the playoffs, but they got to go now. They cannot keep losing in overtime. It is getting them nowhere. And then number 6, the San Jose Sharks. Got to be honest, don't even know how the Sharks were able to stay afloat so long into the year. I did expect them to be towards the bottom of the division when I did my season previews, and I think that they'll, bottom out as the year goes along and at least finish 6th. 5th in the division, the Edmonton Oilers. This team has got to make the playoffs. Otherwise, their offseason is going to be rough, and they are not going to want to have to deal with all those questions. So, make the playoffs. You don't have to worry about it as much. 4th in the division, the Calgary Flames. Really interested to see what goes on here. Do they make the playoffs? Does Johnny Gaudreau stay? Because of that, a lot of moving parts here for Calgary during the season and then headed towards the offseason. Very, very, very curious to see how this goes. 3rd in the division, the Anaheim Ducks. Surprised you're here. Keep it up. 2nd in the division, Los Angeles Kings. Surprised you're here. Keep it up. 1st in the division, the Pacific, that is the Vegas Golden Knights. Jack Eichel is coming back, and it is a matter of time. This is going to be huge for this team as they get ready for another deep run. Moving over to the Central, number 8, the Arizona Coyotes. We knew it would be rough, but you're already doing better than a lot of people expected, so congratulations. And now the Chicago Blackhawks. Really, really, really curious to see if people get moved at the deadline, specifically Marc-Andre Fleury and some of those bigger names that are on that roster. I don't think anybody will besides Fleury. That is some of the bigger names, but we'll see. Winnipeg Jets. It's been a crazy up and down year for you. I don't even know what to say for this team. If they miss out on the playoffs, it is very frustrating. Dallas Stars, very old team. You probably need to get another run going while you can, because who knows how long the good times will roll. St. Louis Blues, congratulations. You are playing some good hockey, or at times you have played some good hockey, and I really like your offseason. I really like what's been going on so far. We'll see where it goes. 3, Minnesota Wild. Keep it up. I do think that this team should be able to beat out the Preds for that 2 spot, and I do see them beating Nashville in a playoff series should they meet. Number 2, Nashville. Very surprised you're here. After the past few years, seeing where this team is headed, I really thought that they would be towards the middle of the pack or the bottom of the division. They're 2nd right now. This is huge. Didn't expect it for them, just like Anaheim. In LA, keep it up. Now, Colorado. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to be a great team. You'll probably win the President's Trophy. It's going to be a great year for you. Get past the 2nd round. Otherwise, there's going to be a ton of stuff to deal with. Now, moving over into the East, the New Jersey Devils. I don't know how you got here. I didn't expect you to be 8th in the division. And at this point, I don't know what to expect from you anymore. I know there's been a lot of things that have happened for them to be here. But holy cow, the fact that they're 8th, really just troubling. 7, the Philadelphia Flyers. 13-game losing streak. They had 2 10-game losing streaks, at least 2 10-game losing streaks. They are where they are because they couldn't end those skids when they started to really just go downhill. And going forward, we might see a retool or a rebuild. 6, New York Islanders. I'm shocked. I knew that they probably wouldn't be as dominant as they should be or have been in the past few years. They haven't exactly been world beaters, but they are a good team that made it to the playoffs and made some noise. And I think overall it's just frustrating for them to be where they are. 5, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I didn't expect you to be in the middle of the Metro, a very tough division. I don't expect them to make the playoffs, but the fact that they're not in the bottom where I projected them to be is good news. And hopefully these guys that they have that are young and up and coming could be a big bolster for them in the years to come. 4, Washington Capitals. Your playoff spot is probably locked up. It's probably guaranteed, but focus on making it and then hopefully getting another good run going. This team is not a juggernaut, but I would really love to see Ovi go on one more big run. 3, Pittsburgh Penguins. Make the most of it. Again, just like Ovi, just some of these older teams. You don't know how many runs you're going to get at this. The Penguins do have a pretty good roster, but with Crosby and Malkin, you really don't know when it's going to be the last time that they have a good chance to win the cup. Not saying they're favorites right now, but I do think they could find a way to sneak in the finals and then win it. 2, the New York Rangers. You have arrived. We'll see if it is consistent. I do really like this roster that the Rangers have built. Not a perfect roster by any means, but it plays pretty exciting hockey, especially certain lines. And I am really, really hoping for the Rangers fans that they can get in the playoffs, maybe win a round or two, and kind of judge where they are measuring stick-wise, where they can go moving forward. 1, the Carolina Hurricanes. You have been a good team over the years, a younger team that has got some younger players that are very good. It's time. There's no more. I know they made that conference finals run, but since then, I just don't think that they've been able to live up to the hype. People label them contenders. Some people do. I don't see it until they beat a big, big team in the playoffs. You would have to beat Tampa Bay, Florida, something like that in order to make me feel more comfortable saying I expect them to be in the thick of it every year down the stretch. And finally, the Atlantic Division, Montreal Canadiens. Surprise, surprise. I didn't think they'd make the playoffs. People called me crazy when I did my season preview. Didn't expect them to be one of the worst teams in the league. There's so many factors for that. I feel so bad for you Habs fans. You are so faithful. Live through it, get through the year. Next year should be better, theoretically. 7, Ottawa Senators. Frustration. I think that's the big thought for me here and the fan base. Not saying that I expected them to be in the playoffs by any means, but 7th in the division after so many years of just frustration and having Eugene Melnyk be the owner. It's hard, and I really hope for this organization that they're not going to waste all this time with this rebuild and then get stuck kind of like the Sabres did, which is our next spot. Buffalo. We knew they'd be bad. I think the biggest thing here is that attendance has dropped off so much. Can't say that I blame the Buffalo fans. They have been faithful for a long time, and there's not really been a great product to go out on the ice and give them a reason to stay. Attendance is bad, but the team's been bad for a very long time. Get this team right, the fan base will show you what they are and what they're made of, and I know they're a great fan base. 5, the Detroit Red Wings. Keep it up. We knew that this year wasn't a walk for them to make the playoffs. We kind of thought maybe they'd be a fringe team. I thought they'd hang around that 5-6 spot in the division, and that's where they're hanging. We know that this is a very, very, very top-heavy division, one of the the heaviest divisions in the league. And the fact that they're hanging around, they're not probably going to make the playoffs, but we've seen some progress. We know the future is bright. Keep your heads up, Wings fans. It's going to be great going forward. 4, the Boston Bruins. Enjoy what you can. This is a team that I think has some good pieces that are younger, but I also realize that, Bergeron, Marchand, all these guys, they are not exactly spring chickens. They are not going to be around in 10 years. At least I would expect them to be. And for Boston, enjoy what you can with this time because we don't know where this team's headed, which leaves us with 3, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Win. You are in a great spot right now. I know you're going to have a terrible matchup in the playoffs. If you are to play the Lightning, you got to win. This is just one of those things that if you don't win this playoff series, somebody's getting moved. This roster is going to have to be worked on because it's not a bad team. They are a very good team. They just can't get over that hump. Last year, they really should have beat Montreal. It would have taken a ton of pressure off of them. Regardless, Toronto fans don't care. The media doesn't care. The fans around the league, they don't care. You've got to find a way to win. This year has got to be the year that you win around. And if it's not, expect some big things. 2, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Way to go. You have been able to weather so many games lost, and you are second in your division. You're having a great year. You're bound to be, hopefully for your fans, pushing for that final, maybe a three-peat, and to be one of those final teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll have to see how it goes, but I am very, very impressed by John Cooper. As always, great job from him and his team, even though they've had to deal with a bunch of man games lost. Which finally leaves us with the Florida Panthers. And this, I guess, is shocked. I knew they'd be good, but I did not expect them to be one of the best teams in the league. I kind of thought they'd hang around that 2 to 3 spot in the division. They might beat out the Lightning for the division title. Excuse me. And I guess in general, I am just very proud of them, and hopefully for their fan base, they can do something with it. So there you go. Those are 32 thoughts for 32 teams. I know it was more for some, and then for others it was pretty simple. But I am crazy busy today, crazy busy the next few days. And be patient with me. I'm so sorry. It's just so hectic right now. But everybody, like this video if you enjoyed it. Join the Hockey Brigade by subscribing. Stay safe. Have a great night. You go love hockey, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.